Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 14th. This week you have this exploration card. It says, right now you need to search and explore. It's okay to wander until you find your home. You have a stag spirit. It says you were meant for great things. Trust in all that you have to offer, which is definitely true, Capricorn. I think that Capricorns need to believe that what they have to offer is good, especially in work, business, career, all that other good stuff. Maybe because your career hasn't, or maybe money wise, right, things have been a little bit disappointing right here with the Five of Cups, but I do feel that this is changing for you at this time, which is great. I also feel that some of you have ideas of things that you want to do in your life, and maybe you're not feeling good enough with this stag spirit, but I feel like this is saying, well, you'll never know if you're good enough or not unless you do it. So I think that whatever you're thinking about, you really need to go for it at this time, Capricorn, because you are good enough. And I also feel that you will see that you are more than capable, especially in work or business. What's popping into my head here, Capricorn, is I think that some of you are doubting yourself, especially those of you that are working on projects or businesses or business ideas. And, I feel like you are looking at your ideas from kind of a past perspective. There's one clue that I think that you need to pay attention to, Capricorn. If you are seeing other people doing things that you can do, right, in work or business or career, and if you're saying to yourself, I'm better, or I know more than those people, then yes, it's true, but no one's going to know that unless you take action. So I definitely get that feeling here. Five of Cups has a very easy solution. This is coming up in your current general energies, by the way, and I feel for a lot of you, you need to be grateful for what you do have. He needs to turn around, see these two cups, then he gets the bridge and the castle. But he's currently crying over that spilt wine that's in front of him, and he's grieving the loss of something that he no longer enjoys. And, again, you have the Nine of Cups in the same row. And the Nine of Cups is about being in alignment with what you want. The Nine of Cups, he is kind of soaking in the energy of everything that he wants and desires in his life, and therefore he is attracting it. That's why the Nine of Cups can kind of represent a wish. The other interesting thing is that he has these 9 cups behind him, and there are kind of two ways to read the card. You can say that he's about to have a feast, which is the traditional way. He's sitting here, he's about to have a feast. But the other way is that he's a barkeep, and he is choosing who to give those 9 cups to. Now, this could be love, doesn't have to be. The cups could just be your energy that you give to anything. And I've never had this message before, I don't think, but I kind of feel like the Nine of Cups is saying that you have gotten yourself to a place where you have a lot to give. You have a lot to offer, but those 9 cups are behind him. And so I feel like you need to start putting your cups out into the world. And I think it's funny as well that we have the 4 cups here. And the 4 cups is kind of a card of contemplation, apathy. It's a card of disappointment. But it's almost like you are fearing that if you give out your cups, that they won't be well received, And again, I don't feel that this has to be love, although there is love showing up here. But I kind of feel like this is your work ideas or your career or your business ideas that you are afraid to put out into the world because you're afraid of how people are going to react or something like that, and that's what's popping into my head. You have the Page of Cups, again, could be love. You have the Page and the Knight of Cups, so both of these cards could represent, kind of an admirer or a knight in shining armor. So I don't think it's a major focus this week, but if you want love, it's showing up in the reading, and there you go. That's all I have to say about it there, Capricorn. So let's see where this is going for you. With the Five of Cups, you have the Moon card. You do have the Moon card twice. Again, I think this is where I was getting a little bit of that fear, of how something is going to be received, because the moon is darkness. The moon is fears, fantasies, illusions, and not seeing clearly, but it's kind of part of the journey. And also, the moon is temporary, so I feel like you need to realize that you will only be in darkness as long as you hold back with that Nine of Cups. And I feel like the Nine of Cups is really saying it's time to start passing out some drinks, right? It's time to start passing out some cups here. And this could be anything. It could be you, presenting something at work. It could be you releasing your business, or launching a business or an idea. It could be you, putting yourself out there for love. It could be anything. But I kind of feel it's time to face that fear, whatever it is. With the Nine of Cups, yes, you have the Strength card. The Strength card says you've spent a lot of time working on yourself, and the Strength card is about personal strength. Normally the lady on this card is taming that lion, and the lion represents like her inner voice, her inner critic, her inner demons, and so I feel for a lot of you that you've been kind of like taming your inner voice. With the Page of Cups, you have the Fool. Yes, time to take a leap of faith, time to put yourself out there. The Fool also normally has ice-capped mountains in the background of the Fool. So the ice-capped mountains in the tarot can represent no movement. And, the Fool needs to take a leap of faith. So I kind of feel like it is time for you to take a leap of faith with the Four of Cups here and make an offer or start passing out those cups because it'll change your life with the Wheel of Fortune. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Moonstone card. It says slow it down. You have this draw down the moon, and it says knowledge. You have the moon twice. I always say that the moon card, we need to bring the moon down to earth because usually the moon is a dream, is something that we are wanting to manifest, and the moon exists up in the sky, and we have to bring it down. And the reason it represents a dream is because most of our dreams, we have no freaking clue how we're going to bring it down to earth. So the moon is like the mystery of how you're going to accomplish something that seems hard to accomplish. But the moon just says if you slow things down, if you just take the steps with the Fool right next to the moon and start working your way towards those mountains, you will accomplish your goal. And also, by the way, you have the World right next to the moon here, which the World is an accomplishment. You have the Judgment card, the Four Cups, and the Moon. The Judgment card is about like a wake-up call and needing to step into your new life. I'm pretty sure you've been getting the Judgment card with me a lot recently, so a lot of you are probably feeling pulled in towards something in your life, and I feel like the Judgment card is saying like go for it because again, it will be a lucky break. It will be a change in your life with the Wheel of Fortune. You have the Four Cups. I think, this is probably part of the problem is that with Saturn and Capricorn for so long, I think you've experienced too many disappointments. Sorry, not Saturn, Pluto and Capricorn, although back in 2016, we did have Saturn and Capricorn as well. But what I would say is with Pluto and Capricorn for a long time, I think you've experienced too many disappointments. Normally, Pluto isn't that big of a deal. But what I would say is I think Pluto and Capricorn is probably the hardest because Pluto comes very, very close to Earth when it's in Capricorn. It's as close as it possibly can be. It's still very far away, but Pluto has a highly elliptical orbit. It comes very close to Earth, if this is the Earth, and then it shoots way out, on its way out. So again, this is probably the most challenging position for Pluto, and in some ways, although it's still not bad, but still, still challenging. And I feel like you've experienced those challenges, but now you need to realize that things are better. Things are changing. You have the Moon again. So the Moon, I think, is saying bring some sort of dream down to earth. And if you do, then you will be successful. If you do want love, the Moon can sometimes represent needing to release some emotional armor. We have this lobster right here. And the lobster represents emotional armor, and it says that, obviously, again, it's hard to move on land with emotional armor on, so you have to release it. With the Judgment card, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, this is like some sort of celebration. Like something you're thinking about is going to be a celebration for you, but I feel like you have to present it to the world, which I pretty much always say to you. But, I think that there's something inside of you that needs to come out, and if you do it, then you will have a celebration. With the Four of Cups, you have the Empress. Yep, very abundant time for you, and the Empress is about creating abundance or just creation in general. So this can also say you're very attractive at this time. So if you want love, definitely put yourself out there. But, more importantly, I think that you could be attracting more abundance or, creating more abundance. The Empress also represents doing this with ease. She is not struggling for her abundance. So I think the struggle is over. But sometimes if we've been in the struggle for 20 years, it's kind of hard to break those habits because we think we always have to struggle. And I kind of feel that the Empress is saying you don't always have to struggle. Things can be much easier if you allow them to be easier. With the Moon, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Yes, Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. It is the tree of life. So a lot of you are clearly dreaming of something much, much better, or you have a vision at least for your future life. Even the Knight of Cups, if it's not a person, and even if it is, doesn't matter. The Knight of Cups can be a dream that you need to start planting seeds towards, which we'll talk about in just a second. But I would get to work on this Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is also great for self-education. So if you do have like a Ten of Pentacles dream, something that you want to manifest, the Ten of Pentacles can say that learning as much as you can about what you're doing will lead to success. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this seahorse. It says watch and wait. You also have this peacock. It says let it shine. Yes, I think you need to let something out with that peacock card. I feel like you need to speak. Peacocks are very loud. If you've ever been around a peacock, they make a lot of noise. So, I feel like for a lot of you, this can represent needing to make more noise or needing to speak up, especially in work or business as well. Just based off this reading, this could represent, speaking up more to get more attention on the work that you do. Obviously, the same with love. If you want love, obviously you're going to have to put yourself out there with this energy and get a lot more attention. You have the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Cups, and the World. Clearly, your fortunes are changing. I don't know if I said this, but this is coming up in the area of messages from your future self. And the Wheel of Fortune is all about changing your fortunes. We can do this with several things. We can change our vibrations. We have this snake on the side here, which represents our vibrations. We can learn more. All 4 signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo, all have books that they're holding on to, so we can learn more about just whatever it is that we want in life, and education can turn things around. I think the easier thing to do with the Wheel of Fortune is to, as I always say, double down on the good stuff and get rid of the rest, right? And if you do that, you will be much more successful. But next to the Judgment card, by the way, the Wheel of Fortune is your destiny, and it's your destiny how you see it. I think that the Wheel of Fortune is a little bit kind of like overblown, and I think sometimes people make the Wheel of Fortune out to be better than it actually is. It's a good card, but again, it is your personal vision for your life, so it is how you see your life going. And we have the Ten of Pentacles, which tells me that you have a very good personal vision for your life, or at least you can see that good things can happen for you. And I think that you need to start planting some seeds. The story of the Knight of Cups is that he's standing in the desert, but he has this water flowing in front of him. So if he were to plant seeds in front of that water, they would grow. And right next to that, you have the Nine of Pentacles, which is growth. So I think that a lot of you could grow and could create a lot of growth. And, why not you is the question. That's kind of like the question I'm getting in my head is like, why not you? Capricorn, like, why can't you be the one to do something? It kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know if you ever had this experience, but, like in school where the teacher would go around the classroom and say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I remember this kid saying they wanted to be in the NBA, right? Which is, it's true that it's unlikely that most people will get into the NBA, right? But the teacher was like, well, you need to focus on something that's more realistic. And she was like shitting on his dreams. And I was like, and I remember thinking to myself, yeah, but it's like, why not him? It's like, there are people who do make it into the NBA, so it is possible to do it. And that's what I'm getting here. That's like what's popping into my head with this Knight of Cups. It's like you might have some sort of crazy ass dream that you think is impossible, or maybe people have told you that it's impossible, but it's like someone has to do it. It's like there are, I don't know how, I have no freaking clue how many people are in the NBA, but I'm sure there's in the hundreds, right, across all the teams. So it's like people do make it, and I feel like saying that on this Knight of Cups, like, why not you? The Knight of Pentacles, the reason I'm saying this as well is that the Nine of Pentacles represents something that is difficult to do. She has these grapes growing behind her, and those grapes in the tarot represent something that most people can't do. And, that's what I'm feeling here is like, why not you? So I would start planting those seeds towards doing whatever it is that's impossible, that you think is hard to do, because why not you? Maybe you're the one that's going to do it, right? Whatever it is. You have the World. The World is the accomplishment. The World is you accomplishing something great. It is also your card. So whenever you show up as yourself, this puts you in a position of power and strength and really allows you to get what you want from the reading. And, I think that this is saying you should really go for it, something that you're trying to accomplish. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is stability, and so I feel like you could be creating a lot more stability in your life with the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles, I actually feel pretty good about it. I kind of go back and forth on the Four of Pentacles, but I do feel a lot of you are stabilizing your finances. Ten of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, Empress. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords would represent taking a risk, so it could represent a separation, but there's nothing else in the reading that really talks about a separation except for this right here. So some of you might be separating away from a toxic person, but the Devil is showing up in the good stuff, and it could just be you. So I would say that the Five of Swords is more about you taking the risk to do something hard or to do something that seems hard, right? With the World, you have the Sun, which is amazing. I definitely prefer readings that go from the moon to the sun, not the other way around. So you are going in the right direction, going from the moon to the sun. It would kind of say that you're leaving behind a moon period and you're stepping into a sun period, which is much better. Next, you have this, in the area of the good stuff, you have the Stars and Timing card. You also have this Magical Protection card. So, again, this Stars and Timing card would say that the time is now to do something that you're trying to do, and I also feel like you are protected. And I'm kind of surprised, it's kind of funny, it's giving me Queen of Wands vibes for some reason, and the Queen of Wands, she has to realize that she is protected. You have the Devil, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. The Devil could just be you. Again, this is showing up in the area of the good stuff, so this could just be you showing up in a strong position. You show up twice in the reading so far, and showing up as yourself puts you in a position of power and strength. Probably your most important card here is the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of gratitude and luxuries. She's creating heaven on earth, and she is very focused on her goals. So I think it would be a great time for you to focus on the things that you want to accomplish. Again, I think that you have a skill that you need to use just like she does. The other thing about her is that she has 6 pentacles over here and 3 pentacles over here. So she's spending more time kind of like focusing on herself and her skills, and she's not spending so much time giving to other things. She gives in balance. She doesn't over give with anything that she's doing. And it is even though it's showing up in the good stuff, it's popping into my head as important that, that you really need to focus on the things that you're working on right now, and like don't give too much to external influences like people, places, and things. That doesn't mean you can't give. It just says don't overgive. And as long as you do that, you will be fine. But definitely gratitude and luxuries coming in for you. You have the Knight of Swords. Again, I think something will be happening fast for you if you get started, right? If you answer the call here with the Judgment card, and if you start planting seeds, they will grow, just like she has grown these grapes behind her. If you are trying to do something hard or accomplish something that's hard, if you plant the seeds, they will grow. With the Devil, you have the King of Cups. Again, some of you could definitely be attracting like a water sign into your life. You have water about 19 times in this reading, so, could be a water sign, could be any sign, general reading. The King of Cups is usually someone who's like very emotionally stable, someone who can handle a lot as well. The King of Cups is normally sitting in choppy waters, but he's perfectly fine. And so I like to think of the King of Cups as someone who has a good head on their shoulders. They don't like worry too much about the things that are going on around them. They are in control of their reality. So it could be that, like a type of person like that. Sure, we'll take both. Oh, what do you know? I pulled the 3 wands. That Queen of Cups fell out into my lap. So there you go. Definitely divine counterparts. 3 wands card of expansion and growth as well. So the Nine of Pentacles definitely represents growth because she has grown those grapes behind her. And the 3 of Wands all about expansion. So you are clearly in a time of expansion. Again, divine counterparts right here. So this could be 2 people who are very happy together. With the Knight of Swords, you have the High Priestess. High Priestess is unlimited potential. A lot of these cards have been coming up of unlimited potential in the readings. I kind of think it's because we're getting closer and closer to the end of Neptune and Pisces. And I keep telling people, like, if you have a big impossible dream, like now is the time to get to work on it. Neptune and Pisces is that big impossible dream. It is, kind of like the middle of the ocean. Neptune in Pisces especially, right? Pisces is very dreamy. This is Pisces. You have the moon here twice. Pisces, the King of Cups. Pisces. So we see a ton of Pisces energy in your reading. It could be talking about that Neptune and Pisces energy, which is a big impossible dream. Neptune is retrograde, which makes that dream a little bit more possible. We also have Saturn in Pisces, which also says if you get your ass moving on that dream, then like if there was ever a time where you could actually accomplish it, it would be right now because of the energy that exists, in Pisces. So I kind of feel like this is saying it is time for you to get to work. The whole entire reading says it's time for you to get to work on something that could be impossible. And guess what? What you will realize is that it's not impossible. Yeah, you have this discovery card. I think things are a little bit boring. I said this the other day on a podcast that, I kind of felt weird the other day. I was thinking about how it's like since COVID, I've been kind of like doing the same thing. Like my habits haven't changed. Like before COVID, I was going out a lot more. I was doing a lot more things like in public, right? And the other day I was like, damn, like I've been doing the same thing since COVID. Like COVID, I think, put people in this mindset of being home, right? And so I think we need to get out into the world now, and we need to explore. You have this optimism card. Yes, there's like a lot of optimism. You have the sun in the reading, so a lot to be happy for and excited for. You have this. Here you go. You have this acquisition card. This is my fancy couple card, so definitely could be attracting a real one here if you're looking for love, and could be a very solid connection. You have this escape card. I get the feeling of wanting to just wanting to make something change. We have the Knight of Swords, and sometimes I feel the Knight of Swords is in a position in life where he just can't take it anymore, and so he like forces something to change. It's like this can be good and bad at the same time. It's like obviously if you're just if you're frustrated and you're doing something out of frustration, I think that's when this will be bad. I think if you're doing something because you genuinely know that you can make the change, then it will be good. So I would like the reading is definitely saying that you need to move quickly, but also I would think things through. I hope that makes sense. You have this eccentricity card, yes. I think you need to realize that your life isn't going to be like someone else's life. So, definitely embrace the weirdness. Embrace your weirdness here, Capricorn. I know a bunch of you Capricorns, and you're all weird. So, definitely makes sense. But there you go. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And definitely enjoy your week.